Welcome to Barely Balanced. We're two realtor moms building businesses, raising kids, and trying to stay mostly sane. I'm Larissa.
And I'm Sarah.
And this is where real estate and real life collide.
I gotta tell you, I just got the most insane inspection response, maybe of my whole career.
No. Okay.
So we
But that's saying something because I feel like inspections are always wild. So, okay, tell me what's going on.
we were listed at $499.
Okay, 500.
It's 500 effectively, yeah.
Sure.
But the house needs work, and it was no showings until mutual. Because it was just it needed work. There was tenants as a whole thing. There was a reason. Okay. So we knew that going in. We also priced it like it comps at like 625, 650. Okay. So we priced it because we know the work. We know all the things going on.
Is the tenant month to month?
No, they haven't had a contract since 2009.
Oh, so they are month to month.
But they're not paying.
Oh.
It's a whole thing. We don't need to get into that.
Okay.
They were given notice though, so they're
Okay.
on their way out. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Washington State has all the laws around tenants, so we still have tenant rights regardless of the contract in place, and we're honoring that the best we can. Luckily, the tenant's in good standing with us. Anyway, so we received the inspection response back. They took, mind you, the full amount of time that they were allowed to take. Did they need it? Probably not. But they took every ounce of how long they needed it.
That is so strategic.
They came back. This is a cash offer. So normally in the inspection response, you wouldn't put like a purchase price change because any lender is not going to be okay with that. Underwriting's not going to be okay with that.
They're going to be.
So, but this is cash. So they can do basically whatever they want with the inspection response. They put back $375.
I'm sorry. Wait, you started at 5?
Yeah.
So they want $125,000 reduction.
Isn't that like 25% off? Like
what?
Yeah.
No.
So a couple things. They did find that our square footage was wrong. They went in and calculated, and I can only list it based off what we think the square footage is.
Yeah.
Based off of records, we're seeing all the things. So we listed it based off of the knowledge we had about what we thought the square footage was. They actually went in and measured, and what they were coming up with was
what's
different.
It being taxed on?
The square footage we have.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's an argument to be made there about square footage. Point is they measured and with their little device. And so that was a factor. Plus it needs a lot of stuff. So that was a factor. But $375.
There's no way. There's no way.
Well, we have a backup offer. Like the backup offer now knows about the square footage. They're adjusting, blah, blah, blah. Like we're going to be fine. We're going to figure this one out. But I was shocked at that.
How do you even present that to your client?
I think with any inspection, like not being emotional about it is first and foremost.
Yes.
Like you cannot be emotionally tied to whether or not this is like crazy, right? I think that's like that's how I've always handled inspections. Like it's still their house. It's still not my decision. Ultimately, like she might want that. So if I come in guns blaring, this is so ridiculous. Don't take this.
Just be like, okay, that's fine. I just want to get rid of it.
100%.
Yeah.
So I think the strategy on that one is simply saying, here's the facts. This is what they found. This is what they're coming in with.
Last one. Yeah.
Yeah. And then just like being silent and letting them process and letting them think about what they want to do. Same with any other inspection with respect to like things needing to get done. And like having a brand new roof or needing a brand new roof.
Right.
It's like, okay, well, this is what they found. Whether or not we believe it is really not the issue at play here.
Right.
The issue is, do you still want to sell your house knowing this and knowing that they want these things? Or do we need to go back and negotiate this?
Right.
How do you present inspections when you have like, when you're representing the seller and you get like a laundry list? I always go back and forth on how to present that when I'm talking like 15 items, 10 items, just like a crazy list of things.
I immediately get on the phone with the agent.
With the agent?
Yep.
Okay.
And I say, I see your list.
Yeah.
And I know, obviously, I know you're not getting all of these. Which ones are what are the must-haves?
Yeah.
What are the ones that are the must-haves? I don't say which ones can we take off.
Sure.
I want to know what are the must-haves or your client's going to walk.
Yeah. I always want to know the non-negotiables first.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact that the furnace getting serviced is not a non-negotiable.
Right.
So don't try me with that.
Right.
And if it is,
$125.
It'll get done. Okay.
Right.
If it is, it'll get done. We're not going to blow everything up over $500 or $200, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Find out the non-negotiables first.
Yeah. Non-negotiables. And then if they're like all of them, I've had a lot like that. I mean, obviously it happens. And usually if there's like big ticket items, we're like, when I'm going through the walkthrough prepping the sellers, like this might come up, this might come up, you know what I mean? So they're kind of prepared.
Yeah.
And that's why in accepting an offer, those are always going to be things that they're considering in the terms of the contract, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, for me, it starts with talking to that agent.
Yeah.
Because I think the way I approach it is always like, okay, friend, how do we get this? Like, how do we go across this hurdle? Let's do this together. Obviously, the seller isn't going to do all of these, right? You know that. Do it in approaching it in that way of like, of course, you know this. I know this isn't a surprise conversation. I know they're not doing everything. What is the must-haves?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because then I'm like kind of saving face for them to know. And I want to know what has to get done for us to keep this together. And I'm not telling you I'm going to get that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to know how to communicate to the seller what's most important to your buyer.
Yeah.
On
the buyer side, so if I receive that question, like if I'm representing the buyer, if as a good, like I was about to say as a good agent, but all agents are good agents, right?
No, not all agents are created equally.
A good agent would not answer that question the way in which you're framing it to be answered.
Okay, tell me how you would answer
so
it. I've never had a problem with it.
It's because you're interacting with agents that want to just get things done.
Yeah.
But a good agent who's representing their client isn't going to tell you.
I've had do you remember that Edgewood listing I had that sat for a long time? And it was so odd. But we were under contract and we got a laundry list. And I was like, you do know this is a 1953 home.
Yeah.
Right. And like they were asking for crazy stuff. And I'm like, okay.
Like caulking to be redone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like they wanted the bathtub to be recaulked. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, and you want the oil tank to be decommissioned. Yeah, obviously. I told you about that. And we're already agreeing to do that, right? These are like the bigger things.
Yeah.
But he was not forthcoming with me that his buyer was an EPA inspector. And so when we was like, yes, we will absolutely on the up and up have a permit. A company is going to decommission it, but we are not removing it and testing soil. We will decommission it in the ground. And he was like, yeah, nope, that's a no-go. I'm like, what?
Jeez.
I already had told him that's how we were doing it.
Yeah.
And he had not communicated with me that after we fizzled out and it was back on the market and he's like, yeah, he's an EPA inspector.
Why wouldn't he just tell you that stuff up front?
I don't know.
So what's interesting
to me, he was a young.
This is what it's interesting to me. Agents will blow up stuff over things that should have just been communicated.
But here's the thing.
Or written in.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So he, this was also a red flag for me. And I don't know that he realized he was like giving this away. He's like, yeah, I've been working with them for a year and a half. Excuse me?
That feels like a long time.
Yeah, this is the first house that they've written up in a year and a half.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That is a huge red flag to me.
Yeah. Okay, so to answer your question,
did they want a brand new home? Have them.
They did want a brand new home.
I'm like,
that's exactly what.
And I'm like, I think that they should probably steer away from older homes and look at new construction. I'm just giving you that advice as like a seasoned agent. You've been doing this for 3 years.
Yeah.
Godspeed, dude.
I think so many of those conversations have to start early, like with your own client. They have to start super early on the selling side and on the buying side.
Yeah.
They have to start early. These are the things that you're going to expect to receive as a seller. And the things that are not going to be like, for example, I almost always tell my client, like if they have a furnace that has not been serviced in the last year, almost guaranteed your buyer is going to ask for it.
Yeah.
So just be prepared.
Do it. Just do it beforehand.
Either do it or just be prepared. They're going to ask. Actually, usually I don't advise them to do it beforehand.
Why?
Because if the buyer doesn't ask, then they just save $250. And there's no real functional reason why they have to have it serviced.
Well, they don't have to. Yeah.
So I just prepare them.
If it's been done in the last like 2-3 years.
Yes. Yeah. That's
sure
what I'm saying.
I'm not. But if it hasn't been done in 10 years.
Oh, no.
There's no chance it's not getting asked for.
100%.
Unless it's been that long, waive inspection, and let's not bank on that.
Right. If it's been a long time and it's an old one, I'm going to tell them up front. Yeah. Agreed. But if it's been like a couple years, I'm just like, hey, so this might come up. I don't think we should do it now. Let's see if
we could save a couple hundred.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it might come up. So then that way, if it comes up, they're like, all right, that's fine. I'll do that one.
Right.
They're already prepared. They've already mentally accounted for that.
Right.
Okay. But on the buying side, like if you ask me that question, my job as a buyer is to protect my client and to get the laundry list of ridiculous things that I've sent over. I've already advised my buyer. So we already know that the last 4 on the list, they don't actually care about. Like I already know that with them. Right. But I'm not going to tell you that necessarily. I'm going to tell you they will walk with these items.
Yeah.
And these ones are also extremely important to them. And I'm really unsure if they're willing to be okay, like without them.
Yeah.
Because I want you to sell that laundry list to your client.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to give you the vocabulary to sell that to them. Because I want the whole list.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I also am going to say, before you send that back, give me a call. Because I want us verbally to work out my list of 15 to get down to 10 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I know in my head I'm good with 8, but I still want 15. So I want you to tell me that we're going to get to 10. And that's a win for my client and a win for yours.
Yeah.
But I don't want to blow this whole thing up if number 9 on the list is also a deal breaker.
Right.
I also order mine strategically.
Do you? So the least important are at the bottom? Do you really?
Yes.
Order of importance.
Order of importance. Number 1.
Oh, don't tell them that.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's fine. There's my secrets.
Okay, tell me how you present a laundry list to a seller.
Usually it starts with setting an expectation or call. I'll say, okay.
With them?
With my seller. So my seller, like we're already prepared. We're going to receive the inspection, right? Okay. And then I set expectations like ring, ring. Hey guys, okay, I've got the report type of thing, or I've got the list. Because we don't get reports, right? So in Washington State, the buyer can't send us the report, or otherwise they'll waive their inspection.
Right. Unless the seller requests it.
Ask for it afterwards.
Writing.
For sure. Well, in contract even.
Right.
Anyway. Yeah. So I'll say, okay, just super transparent, you guys. This is a long list. So I'm going to go through the whole list with you, but I want to start with the big items first so you guys can see what's going on, what they're really concerned about, and then I'll get into the other ones. I'm going to go through this whole thing with you on the phone. It's going to feel like a lot, and I'm going to send it to you, but I also want to give you my recommendations about some of these items. So then I'll just start ticking through them.
Okay.
And I'll read through them somewhat fast because if it's a long list, like it's a long list. We don't need to spend time like analyzing every single item.
Right.
And as we go into that call, I'll send it to them while we're on the call, usually, so they can like see it. Sometimes I do it before I even start reading. And I'll say, hey, there's 10 items or there's, whatever, so that they can mentally track through it with me. And then after I get through reading it, I'll say, first of all, I want to just hear what you guys are thinking.
Yeah.
And usually my client would be like, well, there's no way I'm going to do number 3.
Right.
That's ridiculous. They always have something, which is totally fine. I let them say whatever they need to say. And then I say, okay, this is my recommendation. I know from conversation that this buyer is going to walk if we don't do number 1, 2, and 3, which you hate. But I really think that we can get away with not doing anything else. I think any of these other items are small. They're unnecessary. We don't need to be doing them. And so then I just like see what they're feeling about that. And if they're like really pushing, like, I'm still not going to do number 3, that's ridiculous. Then I just ask, are you guys willing to not sell your house and go back on the market for this specific item? Because chances are if this buyer found it, the next buyer will too.
Yeah.
And then I let it just like sit, and they're usually like, and they usually come around to figuring out, or like we find some sort of compromise.
Yeah.
It's rare that like on the listing side that will blow up an inspection. It's very rare that we don't get through them. I found, except for when the buyer's agent isn't truthful with me.
Yeah.
Like we had one recently. They verbally gave us a list of things they wanted. They didn't send me the 35i. That should have been my red flag. We agreed to it. It was a lot.
Okay.
We agreed to it. They were motivated. They wanted to sell. And she turned around and just sent us a rescission. They didn't even give us, like,
Why?
I think our buyers just got, like, they're first-time home buyers.
Yeah.
So always get the 35R before you start negotiating. Lesson learned. I don't think that was it. I don't think it would have changed anything. I think these buyers were just.
Yeah. That I feel like that was they were just unreasonable when, you know what I mean? But this house was not meant for you. Like
100%.
You know?
Yeah. And I think most people get that. Like the right buyer loves the house.
Yeah.
The right buyer is fine with the temporary things. And you have to look at like a house that's been lived in or 20 years old or 40 years old or whatever isn't perfect.
Right.
And I think you have to be prepared for that.
Oh my God. Remember the agent? She was like, oh yeah, this comp that's 20 years older. Tell me you're not under contract with them. Are you? You are. No way. Anyway. Lovely.
We're gonna post this after the house closes.
For sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Yes, I did. So to come full circle on that, the offer that we accepted, that we negotiated between and finally found like good common ground on, they had used a comp to justify their first price, which was a 20 years older than our house was. Yeah. It's fine. Weirdly, this is an agent who does a lot of deals. Yeah. So I don't know if that was just like her tactic, which is actually arguably smart on her part. Even though I knew it was illogical, it was smart the way she presented it. I super respect the way she presented it. And ultimately, we found common ground. We found something that worked for the two clients. But it was like, caught me off guard. I was like, you can't. That's not how comps work. That's
not going to be used.
No. Anyway, it was interesting.
But also, that's what her clients are looking at because they don't know.
Yes. Yeah. So it's hard to tell sometimes when you're having conversations with agents if they are packaging something to you in a way to get you to agree to it, or if they are really that just naive to how real estate works. I always have to look up their stats. Because I got to know. If they do a lot of business, I know they're just doing a good job negotiating. If they do no business, I'm like...
I don't know if I agree with that.
Really?
Like, yeah.
Tell me more.
Well, because I feel like if they're... Are you looking at... Well, tell me what your stats that you're looking up. Is it like the past year total?
No.
What are you looking at?
I pull their lag number and I look at all of the homes they've ever sold. And I want to see approximately like how many they're doing per year.
Yeah.
So if they're doing like 20 plus per year for a long period of time, I'm like, all right, you've got it. You're solid.
Yeah.
If they're doing like 3 this year and 2 last year and 5 the year before, but they've been in business for 30 years, I'm assuming they don't know anything. I'm sorry. I'm just not.
But what if they're like coaching people and they like are running a business where they're not the ones on it?
I'm never rude to them. I'm just going to make an assumption that I have to coach them.
Yeah.
Versus, I do. Like, okay, same thing with like giving.
Did my face say it all?
Yeah, your face just said it all. So if I'm on the phone with somebody and I get, let's go back to the inspections. I get a 15 item list and I've looked up their stats and they've sold 1 or 2 houses every year for a long time. maybe they do coach other agents,
Mhm.
but it's unlikely that they do. Or I would have seen like 20, 40,
Sure,
30,
sure.
and then 2,
Then
5,
the
5, 5.
yes, yeah,
I would have
yeah.
seen that in the history versus just a lot, especially if they tell me they've been in the business for 30 years. That's an instant red flag. Okay, instant. I'm going to assume that they need help talking to their client, which is why I'm going to give them verbiage to then give to their client.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I feel like when they tell you how long they've been in the business, it's like, oh, so you do it the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, sometimes.
You know?
Yeah.
Because real estate has evolved so much and things are not done the same way.
Yeah.
That it was 30 years ago, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
15 years ago. It's changed.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I want to know, how do you prep your buyers?
We always talk about the age of the house first. Right. And we're talking during the inspection period with our inspector to understand the gravity of the items that we're seeing. Example, caulking around a bathtub. This could be an issue because of water intrusion, or it could be cosmetic. Is it actually causing problems to the subfloor because water is getting down there?
Where's the moisture reader?
That's a problem that we need to address, right? Or is it just cosmetic around a part of the shower that wouldn't impact anything other than it needs to get done? There's slight cracking. So we're having those conversations, I think, with the inspector so that they can better understand. Sometimes those conversations need to go to also contractors. And sometimes we have issues that we simply just can't resolve, and we need to actually just like negotiate them or get a partial negotiation on because we don't have clarity around. I just had that happen recently, actually, with a bathroom where we never really reached, everybody was in disagreement. Both parties had different professionals saying different things.
Yeah.
And so we never reached agreement, and we just found a good compromise financially for everybody.
Yeah.
So sometimes that happens too. But we're walking through what the actual issue is during the inspection. And then when we're putting together the list, I always say, first, we're going to ask for the things that you need in order to have you feel comfortable owning this home. Those are the items we ask for.
Right.
And so if they have additional things on that list, they want to put together the list of 15, I'm going to encourage them to do that. It's their house. They can write things the way they want to write it. But I'm going to say, the more we add to this list, the less likely it is that we're going to get the big important things. So I just want to be super careful with that.
Right.
And being aware of it.
Because they're going to agree to the little ones. Yeah.
Or they'll, again, the same thing I was telling you about, like Keaton the other day, of like asking for too much. You don't get what you actually want.
Yeah.
So it's like, let's be serious from the beginning. Sure, we might ask for 1 or 2 more. We don't really need the water heater service, but it'd be cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we're not going to ask for 5 more. And we're not going to ask for things that are ridiculous. Like, I don't know. I don't even know what's ridiculous. But there are things that's like, we're not going to ask for that.
Right. Yeah. For me, it starts in the buyer consultation.
Yeah.
Of like setting expectations. What is a home inspection? It's not a pass or fail. This is, this is what I say to all of them. It's more of like a honey-do list and an owner's manual to your home. And it's going to be all the things that you're going to want to keep an eye on, the things that you're going to want to take care of once you move in, and then safety and major items that we're definitely going to address with the buyer or with the seller. And we're, in the Pacific Northwest, there's going to be probably rodent activity, and like 99% of homes are going to have that, which I don't know that statistic is right, but it's pretty
well, and so much common. During showings too. Like I'm looking at the house during the showing. When they're looking at the cosmetics, I'm looking at the eaves to see if there's water damage coming out of the gutters. I'm like looking at the baseboards to see if there's swelling in the bathrooms. Like there's things that I'm looking at that I'm either pointing out right then and there, or we're having conversation around when we go to write an offer. Or I'm like, hey, just want you guys to know these are the things that we also saw.
Yeah.
Just so they're also not surprised. Because so many of those things, like we had one recently, they asked for, like window panes, how the seal pops and then they get foggy. That's cosmetic. You can see that when you walk through the house. They asked for that on the inspection. I'm like, we priced according to that. Those are things that you can see.
Right.
So
open and conspicuous. Like they're you saw that when you went through the home.
Yeah, so that's the other thing with my negotiations on the inspection. Like, we're not asking for things that
and you
you've
put an offer
already
on the price
seen.
that you saw that.
We're not doing carpet if you already saw the carpet's old. If you wanted that, then it should have been disclosed like upfront.
Yeah.
Inspections are tricky though, because I think it comes down to the temperament of your seller. It comes down to the temperament of the other agent, and then the real wild card is you have no idea what that buyer is doing, because you don't know if they're a first-time home buyer and they're so nervous about the whole list, or if they're like, it'd be cool if they do any of these. I've had buyers like that where they've put together crazy lists, and I'm like, okay, they're willing to give you just this one item, and it's the water heater straps, right? And they're like, all right, cool. Well, we still like it. And I'm like, cool?
Right.
I'm like, that was chaotic, but okay. Sometimes they're like, no, we still love the house. We just want to see what we can get away with.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, good. I'm glad we try.
Yeah.
But, That's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, that seller was gambling with only, Yeah.
Do you ever feel not stressed about inspections? Because
No,
I'm always stressed about them.
Always stressed. Whether it's a buyer or a seller.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
I feel like that's common, right?
I think so. I feel better though when I have
card.
it. Like, as a listing agent, when I have the inspection response, now I feel calm.
Yes.
That's the only time I feel calm, when the ball's in our court.
Yes.
Except for this one that I just got that's
to...
$125,000 less. I don't feel calm right now.
You got a backup offer. Be calm.
I mean, there's also this sense of like, okay, sometimes it's so beyond that, like, my calmness comes from, I know we're going back on the market.
Yeah.
Like, at least I know the next steps, and we're going back on the market.
Yeah.
I don't know. But I don't know. I could be wrong. Clients could surprise me.
Yeah.
No idea.
Well, I wish you luck.
Thanks. May the odds be in my favor.
Yeah, may the odds be ever in your favor. Oh my gosh, 125.
All right. Well,
we'll see how good your negotiations are.
Yeah, I'll update you later.
Please do.
All right.
All right. You got this.
Sure.
If you're in this season 2,
or something we said hit home, follow along.
We'll see you next week.